Hello, 5th graders. This is Mrs. Fay, and we're going to be learning about the rivers and lakes of the United States. You should be able to identify at this point the Atlantic Ocean and Pacific Ocean on a map. You will see that there are a lot of rivers, lakes, and the Gulf of Mexico that we're also going to learn, as well as their importance for why they're there and why they're important to the United States. Let's start first with the Great Lakes that you can see here on this map. Your parents may have learned about them in an acronym called HOMES, and this really helped because it's easy to remember HOMES and know Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior, but it doesn't help with the order in which you see them on a map. If you see on the map, they're not in that order. They're in a Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, and Ontario, so it's a little bit different. Your parents may have also seen a video much like this. And I think we can do better. So we're going to keep in mind the acronym SMEO, S-M-H-E-O, which will help us with the actual organization of the Great Lakes so that we can not only remember all of the Great Lakes, but also be able to identify and name them on a map. This next video is going to give you some really good background information on the Great Lakes.
10,000 years ago, glaciers carved deep valleys that filled with icy water. This was the creation of the Great Lakes, the largest freshwater system on Earth, covering more than 94,000 square miles and holding 1/5 of the world's fresh surface water. When European settlers arrived, they found forests, prairies, wetlands, and rivers teeming with wildlife. Eventually, towering cities sprouted up on the shores of Lakes Michigan, Huron, Erie, Superior, and Ontario. The prosperity fueled by the region's abundant natural resources.
As long as you can remember the Great Lakes in this order, SMEO, then you're all set. Here's a more up-to-date song for you.
Great Lakes are a diamond and North America, brightly shining jewel, friendship border. Freshwater highway up and down Canada, all around the shoreline, you can hear them sing. Sweet Mother Michigan, Father Superior, come down from Mackinac and to St. Louis. Huron, go down to Lake Erie, come to Ontario, round out the sea. Oh, the tales the sailors spin, mermaids singing in the wind, singing of the messenger, drowning of the crew. And memories of waters crossed, when one fortune's lost, etched on their faces, and faded old tattoo. Sweet Mother Michigan, Father Superior, come down from Mackinac to St. Louis. Now we're on to Lake Erie, up to Ontario, round out the sea.
Now that you have the Great Lakes all figured out, let's go on to our rivers. The first river I want to talk about is the St. Lawrence River, and you can see there that it's actually coming out of Lake Ontario, and it ends out into the Gulf of St. Lawrence and eventually the Atlantic Ocean there. It's important to note that the St. Lawrence River forms part of the northeastern border with Canada and connects the Great Lakes to that Atlantic Ocean. We know a lot about Jamestown and the English explorers, but did you know that there were a lot of French explorers as well? That is why many people in Canada speak French. The early French explorers founded the St. Lawrence River, which provided a route from the Atlantic Ocean into Canada. The St. Lawrence River goes all the way to the Great Lakes. Why do you think having a connecting river made exploration successful? Going south, we have the Ohio River. The Ohio River was called the Gateway to the West. Why do you think that? Take a look at your map here, and we can see that it is moving towards the left, which is towards the west. The Ohio River runs from the Appalachian Highlands through the interior lowlands. As the East Coast area grew with European settlers, they began to look for an efficient way to move west. The Ohio River made a good route for moving both people and things to the fertile farmland west of the Appalachians, and so it became known as the Gateway to the West. Next, we have the Mississippi and the Missouri Rivers. The Missouri and Mississippi rivers were used to transport farm and industrial or factory products and link to the United States ports and other parts of the world. The Mississippi is a long river in the United States, and many other rivers connect to it. The deep, wide Missouri is an important connection to the Mississippi River. Together, these two rivers connect most of the middle section of the United States. Many important cities are located near these two rivers. Both rivers are wide and deep, and they can support large ships that carry products from city to city into the Gulf of Mexico. Next, we have the Rio Grande. The Rio Grande forms the border with Mexico. Rio Grande means big river in Spanish. The Rio Grande carves out part of the shape of Texas, and part of it forms part of the border between the United States and Mexico. In Mexico, they call it the Rio Bravo, which means good river. Going northwest a little from the Rio Grande, we have the Colorado River. The Colorado River was explored by the Spanish. As the Spanish explorers claimed land in Mexico, they heard legends from the Indians about the 7 cities of gold located in the north. Spanish explorers, especially Francisco Coronado, pushed further north into what would become the United States. The Spanish explorers never found the 7 golden cities, but they did claim territory in the southwestern area of the United States. Coronado's land expedition also included a water-based expedition that traveled on the Colorado River. Lastly, we have the Columbia River. The Columbia River was explored by Lewis and Clark. Meriwether Lewis and William Clark were appointed by President Jefferson to explore the Louisiana Purchase, which included the middle and western parts of the United States. Part of their journey included searching for a river that went all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Their journey through the Rocky Mountains was difficult, and they almost starved. The Nez Perce provided the expedition with food, showed them the Columbia River, and helped them build canoes to navigate the river. The Columbia River empties into the Pacific Ocean. And finally, here's a little song. Looks like it's done by Miss Noonan.
Do you hear me talking to you? Across the water, across the deep blue ocean, under the open sky, oh my. Just the shoreline receding, taking in my hand and thinking, wish I didn't have it. The smooth sailing is fine. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be part of it. This is my kind of town, Chicago is.
you're running already when you hit the ground.
That shark really got around to a lot of different places and a lot of different people, but I thought it was a really great summary. So we look forward to seeing you in class and talking about the bodies of water and how they're important and their interactions with the world and how we actually got to be the United States. Please come with questions, comments, and anything else. See you in class.